Hi, my name is Brian Deese. I'm a member of the Obama Presidential Transition Economic Team, and I'm very happy to be part of this Join the Discussion series on Change.gov. We had an opportunity to pose a question to you about how the economy is affecting you in your life and what changes you'd like to see. We've been overwhelmed by the response, over 3,500 entries so far at the website, and it's been a real pleasure and an honor to get to read through those entries to get a better sense of what you're focused on, what your concerns are, and your ideas going forward as well. So I wanted to take a little bit of time today to go through some of those comments and let you know how we are approaching some of the issues that you raised. For example, one issue that we heard a lot about was the issue of jobs. Larry H. wrote, "I'm glad that President-elect Obama's team is emphasizing jobs over just getting people more credit so they can borrow more. Without jobs, people will borrow themselves into more debt, which got us into this mess in the first place." You know, Larry hits on a very insightful point about the overextension of credit, but his focus is our focus too. That we have been hard at work on the instructions of the President-elect on an economic recovery plan that will save or create 2.5 million jobs between now and 2011. We have a lot of work to do. The economy is in a very difficult moment, but by taking really significant investments, the largest investment in infrastructure since the creation of the interstate highway system, new investments in green jobs and energy efficiency to make a cleaner economy as well as an economy that creates jobs. It's these kind of steps that we are working hard on, trying to get ideas from all across the spectrum to put together a plan that could really help jumpstart our economy and create jobs. Another issue that we hear a lot about is the issue of housing. We got a comment from Neil T., who shared with us a very compelling story about his situation after Hurricane Katrina and offered the following comment. I'm mad at the government for running so fast to help Wall Street and big businesses, but do nothing for Main Street. As a realtor in Washington State, I can tell you that most of the foreclosures I see are not on large and expensive homes. They're mostly starter homes. So instead of throwing out a lot of money, why can't we just change bankruptcy and foreclosure laws? You know, this issue Neil raises not only an insightful comment about how we got to where we are, but also an important reminder of the issues that we need to focus on going forward. Housing has been an issue that the President-elect focused on for several years now, and we are working very hard to develop a set of solutions that will not only help stabilize the housing market, but also help keep hardworking families in their home. Families that own their home, have been working hard, and have done nothing wrong except for be a victim of a downturn which has created historic declines in housing prices. So to Neil and others out there, you know, you're right to be angry about the excessive focus on Wall Street and too little focused on Main Street. And part of what we're working on is to try to develop the kind of economic solutions and economic package that will not only recognize that we do need to take steps to support our financial system, but will put forward an equally strong effort to help folks on Main Street, including by keeping people in their homes. One other issue that we heard a lot about in the comments and that I think really resonated to us and we're very happy to hear from you about is the notion of sharing and responsibility and sharing and sacrifice. Comments like, are we willing to prepare ourselves for the coming years? Or we need a bigger view that I hope to see that the President-elect will enroll most or all citizens in active participation in the economy. And you know, this is something that we hear a lot about, and it's also something that we're really committed to. How can we get more people engaged? How can we recognize, and again, something the President-elect talks a lot about, how can we reach out and ask individual citizens to be participants in this economic recovery that we need now? How can we the government provide the types of incentives for people to be more energy efficient, but also put some responsibility on individuals to do what they need to do in their homes and their communities? How can the government provide a framework for a more effective 21st century education system, but also encourage parents to take the responsibility to turn off the television set to read to their children? Those are the types of solutions that the president-elect feels strongly have to be part of the solution. That government is important, that government has a lot of work to do to address problems that have been gone unaddressed for too long, but that it's also the collective responsibility of all Americans to come together and address the magnitude of the challenges we face. So that issue, the issues from jobs to housing, to how do we come together to address an economy that is in serious crisis. Those are the types of issues that we heard from you. We're working hard to take into account all of the comments and the insight that you've provided, and we're also working and looking for new ways to figure out how it is that we can interact with you. It's part of a process, and we look forward to continuing this conversation in the days and weeks ahead.